Welcome to the Smoking Word. Welcome to the Smoking Word.
What's up, everybody? Before anything, I want to announce tonight we are playing with Gore, Napalm Death, and I Hate God in Richmond, Virginia. Tomorrow, we're going to be in Columbus, Ohio. September 18th, Frederick, Maryland, with Suffocation and I Hate God and No Mas. I want to see everybody out there. And September 19th, we're playing Pittsburgh with Gore and the rest of those guys. So make sure to cop those tickets and cop that merch and represent for New York Hardcore. Will be in the building. And the Smokin Word podcast is always brought to you by CasaDeRock.com. CasaDeRock.com, that's my merch store. You want to support the show, that's where you go. We got t-shirts, shorts, slides. We got a bunch of shit over there. You could get everything for his, hers, and everything in between, he's and she's and all that good shit. But CasaDeRock.com, if you want to support the show, go cop some merch. Shout out to everybody from around the world that's been tuning in, supporting. Make sure you keep subscribing. Make sure you keep spreading the word. That's how we keep the show going. And a big shout out to my Patreon family for holding me down. I hope you enjoyed that footage. We just dropped some footage from the New York show, and we also dropped a special edition with my brother Ezek. That, trust me, you're gonna want to tune into that one because that shit got. Ask my patrons about it, but they get it first. But shout out to my Patreon family. And for all you dinosaurs that don't know what it is, I'm explaining it one last time. Patreon is a way you can invest in the Smokin Word podcast. If you want the podcast to keep going and you like what you hear and you want to, chip in and invest in the show, basically, you could join the Patreon. Patreon basically has a couple of tiers of stuff, exclusive videos and all that good stuff. So all the money goes back into the show. That's how we get this beautiful graphics and all that high-tech shit that, only the Smokin Word has. So shout out to my Patreon family and everybody who will be joining the Patreon family after they hear this, right? All right. So, patreon.com/the Smokin Word. Again, patreon.com/the Smokin Word. Go there. Go support the movement. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, HoyaRock357. And make sure to add the Smokin Word podcast on Instagram. If you have any questions, any new music, send it there or send it to Busky. What up, Busky? But again, thank you to everybody who's been tuning in, everybody who's been supporting. Oh, yeah, make sure not only that you tune in, but make sure to subscribe to the Smokin Word podcast and also to Smokin Word TV on YouTube. Listen, we dropped some footage and we're going to really get crazy with it. We got a lot of dope exclusive footage and we're going to be killing that YouTube world, but you got to subscribe. Hit that little reminder bell. Make sure that shit rings. Do whatever you got to do to let everybody know that the Smokin Word is in the fucking building. All right. With that being said, today on the Smokin Word, I was going to say New York, but they're not really New York or New Jersey and New York / or whatever. But basically, long story short, East Coast finest, kind of new, but not new. My peoples, Dan and Danny from Kings Never Die. Let's set this shit off. Oh, shit. I see you, but do I hear you? Check.
Yo.
Yeah, I hear one. I hear the toe.
What's up, bro?
I hear one, Danny. What about the other one? Sound off.
Yeah, you got me?
All right, I got you now. Yeah, I got Dan. We got Dan and Danny. Yo. Hold on. Welcome to the fucking Smokin Word podcast.
That's some backdrop, man.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We go big. Danny knows this. I like to try to stick out from everybody else. So, you know, I had
you? No, not at all.
You know, I gotta be like, you know, I'm not always the shy guy that you guys know usually. But first of all, good to see both of yous. Danny, of course, my favorite gorilla over here, but also both you guys. And I forgot, wait, the last time I saw you guys in the flesh was at the show, right?
Tompkins Square Park, yeah.
Yeah, right. That was the first time I'm not the first time, but the last time I saw both of you guys in the flesh.
That was the first time everybody saw everybody.
Yeah. Everybody popped their cherry that day.
Yeah, man.
The fucking but
that was the day we all came out of hiding.
I know it was like again, I try not to go back to that because it seems, like I don't want to be that dude like living off that fucking moment like that. But damn, that shit fucking what a crazy day, right? What a fucking
that was an amazing day.
Yeah,
I brought my sons with me, man. I brought my sons and got out the house, saw a Madball show.
Jesus, I know.
Park. It's great.
I know what a fucking day with everything like that. Just seeing that, seeing like the people with their kid. I got amped that people brought their kids. I was gonna bring my kids, but it was so last minute I couldn't hook it up quick enough. And I was like, fuck. When I saw you guys, everybody with their kids, I said, fuck it. If mine's ain't here, at least their kids are here. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely. It was a great day.
And what's up with you guys? So and so I know you came out of work right now, Danny, right?
Yeah.
You were working, and I ain't trying to say that Dan's a bum, but you were working then, or what you were doing?
I'm always working, man.
Oh, okay. I ain't trying to say you're the
I'm a
bum.
full-time hustler now. That's what I do. I just find a way to survive.
Yeah. I'll say that's what good. No, because the reason why I also on this shit, I hate doing that whole, everybody's like, the pandemic that, obviously we all going through that shit. But why I'm asking now is because it's weird. We're in that things is open, but not. Some people are working, some people not. So I was like, it's kind of a weird thing. So I wasn't sure what you guys were doing. Not till Dan told me that you were working. I was like, oh, dope.
Yeah. When the pandemic started, I was out of work for a little while. Like everybody else, they shut everything down. I live in New Jersey, so we were shut down. But I was only home for like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and then I went right back to work.
Yeah, that's dope.
Been out there ever since.
Yeah, that's dope. And then Dan, I'm glad I fucking got you because I was trying to get you guys a while. When did we talk about trying to get you on? When was that? That was before the New York show, or was it after the New York show?
Yeah, right before or after.
Yeah.
Right before or after.
Because I know you were talking about you were working on music because I wanted to get them because this was before. This is why we'll get into it. Also with Danny, this was why I was glad when Dan, I was talking with Danny, goes, oh, look, me and Danny are doing it. Because when we talked originally and we were talking about the band, I was like, who's in the band? He's like, well, it's just Danny, that you were jamming with him and that it was, whatever stuff was just whatever. And he was like, yo, the shit sounds great. Either way, I'm putting the songs together. And then, so I was like, oh, I thought you were just, I wasn't sure where you were at with the band. And then when he told me you wanted to talk about the band with this, I said, okay, so, he's proud of it. So I'm glad you were, basically, Danny, I felt you were a waste without playing. So I was glad to see you fucking playing again.
I'm a waste anyway, but thank you. Thank you. No, I'm glad to be playing again. I mean, it was, the whole thing that happened, everything fell apart a couple of years ago. It's hard, as you know. I mean, you've been there too. When you do the band, that's all you do, and you're in there with your brothers and you're doing your thing. And when it all stops all of a sudden for whatever reason, it's hard. It's a hard adjustment, But me, I just focus right back in on moving forward, right back to work, right back to doing what I got to do. My family, they can't wait around for me. So I got to get back to work and get to it. But when Danny called me, I was just writing songs, recording at home, and he was working on all these songs with Kings Never Die. And he asked me to play drums on it. And I was interested, but I wasn't that interested. Like I'm not trying to join somebody else's band. You know what I mean? Like, I wants to do stuff, and I've been recording my own stuff But Danny was so like insisting on me doing it. He was like, nah, dude, come on, you gotta just come down to the studio, come check it out. So,
yeah.
So, finally we got down to the studio over here and we met up. And, the first night we started playing together, it was Danny and I in the studio. He's such a great guitar. I mean, I know Danny for a long time from Mucky Pup and Doggy Dog. So we know each other a long time. And obviously I respect his talents and all the great stuff he's done over the years. Doggy Dog was such a great band. They toured with Biohazard years ago. And, we've done a million shows together, and Mucky Pup, of course. But, sitting in the studio with him and hearing him play guitar, dude's a great guitar player, man. Yeah. And I forgot. I was like, Dan is a dope guitar player. he's got like, how like AJ from Leeway's got that sound. Danny has got that sound, and his style of playing, like I'm real picky when I play with people. Like, not picky like I can't play with everybody. I can play with everybody. But when a guy has a feel that leans into the drums a little bit, I like that. We need, especially.
Yeah,
you're a funky motherfucker. We need that funky shit. We need that backbeat. So Danny's playing, instead of like pushing ahead of me, like a lot of like punk rock guitar, hardcore guys will do, he leans into the drums a little bit. So that first night when we were playing and jamming together, I was like, it feels good. Made me want to come back. We played again. We kept going back to the studio, and then he was like, yo, let's rewrite all the songs that I have. I got all these ideas for Kings Never Die songs. Let's rewrite them. Let's put them, So we did. We stripped them down. We rewrote them, and that was it.
Yeah, that was dope because we had talked. We were talking here, and I was like wondering. He goes, yeah, Danny's jamming. I was like, oh, shit, that's dope. But I was like, so he's in the band? He was like, well, no, I mean, I love his playing, all that, but he's just jamming for right now. And I was like, word, in my head, I was like the same as he was probably thinking. Take it however you can take it. Let's go. Let's do on wax. Let's put these songs together. And I know you were always jamming on your own and working on your own shit. So I was like, okay, if he's jamming with this, he finds something that he likes about it. Because I know you got offers. You've had a bunch of offers since Biohazard to fucking jam with people.
Yeah, but like right now, I put everything musical. I only got time to do one thing at a time. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I'm busy. I'm busy with just like you, my family, everything. So, and Danny's busy too. So it's just like what I was planning on doing, I kind of put on the back burner now to focus on this Kings Never Die record. Because once we got into it, and we came up with 11 or 12 songs that I really thought were really good, and Danny and the whole band thought were really good. We got in the studio, we started rehearsing it all. It was like, yo, we're going to make this record. I had to focus, I had to kind of put everything else on the side and just, focus up on the record and do the right thing. So I think it's coming out. I mean, we're pretty much done. We're just finishing the mixes, but I think the record's going to be great.
Yeah, that's dope. He sent me I heard some tracks, and it sounds dope. And I'll tell you this, and I really mean this shit. I bugged out on the songs are dope on you. I didn't believe. I know you could play that shit, but I never heard you play like that. Like that what? Style of shit. Like that what? Style. It had, just that style. I'm used to hearing you do more that Biohazard. So it just seems more, I don't even know how to say it. I was just bugging out. It seemed more hardcore, like, it's traditional, but it ain't traditional. It has a sing-along feel. It ain't punk, a kind of oi, but it's more flavor than oi. And Biohazard had sing-alongs, but it was a different type of more a stiff sing-along. Yeah, straight. And this was more. This one had more the bars, kind of slosh to it. And I bugged out on how you played on it. I know you, like Danny, I know you have a background in old school hardcore too, but I still, in me knowing you, I still bug out when I hear, because I just picture you with the long hair, and I was like, no, even when I met you, I was like, oh, he's a metal guy from Brooklyn. That's what you thought. You were from Brooklyn, and you're like, and if you were a skin metal guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was Brooklyn. Come on, we all know that. It was like that. You know what I mean? And And then and that's why I bugged out even when I had heard, and then we talked more, and then you're like, yeah, I grew up with the Bad Brains punk. I'm like, really? And I would bug out, like, and that made sense. But the playing was dope. And Dan, what I wanted to ask you was on this shit that when you started writing these songs, because I hear a oi, but it's not oi. And I hear that old style, but it's not old style. And I think it's the right band for right now because it doesn't sound like anybody. That's for sure.
The thing is that, like, I feel like I found a new writing style. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, look, when you're 16 years old and you write about bullshit, you write what a 16-year-old would write. It's like, you know, to me, it's like comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when you grow up a little bit, like, you know, Dog Eat Dog was obviously super influenced by Leeway, by hip hop, by, you know, the things that I feel like I was really into at the time. Everybody's ripping off everybody, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, none of us are like originals. You know what I mean? Other than you. You're an original.
Yeah,
but,
you know what? I'll take that. You know, I'll usually stop that, but I'll take that. But all right, but I know what but
the reality is, like, this is the truth. Since like 1992, even before that, like, just look around. Change, like, the way I thought about music changed, right? And albums after that. And the fact is, like, I honestly, 90% of everything I listen to is just like hardcore bands. Like, I love hardcore bands. You know what I mean? Like, Sick of It All is like my favorite band in the world. We sound nothing like, I could never write like Sick of It All ever. It's not in me. But
of course, you vibe.
You know, Danny said,
we
like,
all do that.
You know, Danny said we got together and I had these songs, but yeah, like, I had maybe like 25 songs that, like, I wouldn't say I wrote them. I would say, like, I had 25 ideas for songs, but, you know, even the Kings Never, look, the other thing is this, like, Kings Never Die is really, like, this is really the beginning. The first album is the beginning of the band. Like, we released, you know, 3 songs. Then
I know you mean, of course.
Then we released, and we were really just trying to, like, find out how to work together.
Those first songs are like the first couple hairs on your dick. Like, you know, it's like that, you know, man, you ain't really to pull out your hammer yet and show everybody yet, you know. You're like, oh,
the first armpit hair. Look, Dad,
exactly.
Look, I got one.
Bing, the little stash, Charlie Chaplin stash.
The reason I was so persistent, really reaching out to Danny, was like, I didn't want to make the record until I knew that we could get a partner that would listen to the music and say, yeah, that sucks. Like a writing partner. And anybody that knows, like, you know, Danny is like a songwriter. He obviously is a phenomenal drummer, but like now it was like when he says we took the songs and we rewrote them. I mean, some of the songs sound nothing like even the original idea. So we really refabricated the songs from, like, he was like, I don't even want to hear the recordings. I don't want to hear your shitty garage band, you know, because like I play on garage band, like you play, you know, and I'm making these recordings and, you know, everybody's laughing at the drums on the keyboard.
Oh, you got to hear my shit.
But
the drums to my demos sound like free, you know, Latin freestyle music, you know, Lisa.
I go like this.
But you get the hint from it, yo. When you strip it down, you would laugh. You'd be like, yo, Pet Shop Boys would love my fucking.
If I played you some of these recordings, but really, the beauty was that we took song ideas, and, you know, Danny said at first, like, I don't even want to hear them. Just play it. Play, like, what is it? And I would just start playing the song, like, kind of like screaming along as I was playing. I think this is the chorus. And we spent like 6 weeks, just me and Danny in the studio twice a week, just rewriting everything from scratch.
Who played on that recording? Did you track the guitars, or you have a bass player too?
Of course, yeah. The same guys that I've.
Oh, okay, all right. I wasn't sure, like, for the recording, if it was just one of those situations.
Listen, Jay Cal, like, we put things together. I think we only worked on like maybe 14 ideas, and we were like, oh wait, we got the 12 songs for the record. Like there's another 8, 9 ideas that are still like whatever, you know. But
now, okay, all right, let me ask you this. When you started, okay, you have a bunch of these songs. We all started newer bands, and we all have, we all have those concepts of which kind of bands, not even if we don't want to sound like, but we're like, okay, we want to be a little of this with a little of that with our own thing. When you were writing those songs, what 1 or 2 band vibes you were thinking? Because like I said, it has a oi feel, but it ain't oi. I'm glad it ain't a beatdown kind of band. For one, there's enough of that, and 2, Danny, it's typical. That would have been a typical next move for you to be in a metal band, or some shit like that. Like, you still get to do grooves, but it's with a different kind of band. That's why I told you I bugged out the most hearing you play on these songs. Like, it just was like not what I'm used to hearing you play. And it's dope because it was like, it sounds good, but I'm like, it's just the style of songs. I'm always, it's just, there's more rock and roll than Biohazard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I mean.
I think Kings Never Die had a vision for their song. Like, Dan, I'll answer this real quick because I know you want to talk on this too. But I think Kings Never Die had a vision of their songs first. And Dan played me some of the stuff that they were doing beforehand. And I really didn't love it that much. Like, I could hear that there was great ideas there. And I can hear how great the band was. Like, Dylan, our singer, has this great, I love his voice, and Jay is like a phenomenal bass player. Larry the Hunter, great guitar player. Everybody's great in the band. The talent is there. But I could hear that the band just, to me, I was asking the question, like, what kind of band are they? What are they saying with these songs? Like, everything seemed a little new and like, I don't want to say rushed, because rushed is not rushed, unfocused, not as focused as I like things to be. And when he asked me to get involved, I didn't want to walk into something that was going to be that way. Yeah. So he played me the songs that he was working on, and we started working them together. And when Danny like gave me the permission, basically, because you know how it is when you write a song, it's like your little baby, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want nobody to touch it. That's mine.
You keep your fingers away from my baby's little wee wee.
Fingers out of my pie.
I hate that, man. You gotta. I hate the beautiful thing about writing is letting somebody else.
Well, let me tell you, I do not agree with that. It took me 25 years to learn that, and I was gonna ask you that. Because this is a thing. This is a funny thing. So Danny, we're friends for many years, right? I don't know when we met, but we met many years ago. Dan, I met you more in the recent years, but I knew of you, which was weird because for so many, what happened was in the early days when we first started touring with Doggy Dog, it was right when you left, I think. Yeah. So we would hear and we're like, and we knew you had the relation. Oh, they toured Europe and were Biohazard, so that was already there. And then we knew you were the song guy for the band, so we would hear, oh, this guy's the guy who, people would talk about him. In every band, there's always the one guy or two guys that okay, you could tell they're like the music guys or whatever.
You want to know something though, Hoya? Honestly, even Dog Eat Dog, like a lot of those songs on the All Borough Kings record, but it's the same thing. Like those songs without Dave and JC and Sean, they would have never been it's the sum of the parts. It's always the sum of the parts. So when it came to Kings Never Die, and I am so passionate about this, this to me is I feel like these are the best songs I've written maybe in my life. And not even the songs, the ideas for the songs. So there was no way that I was going to go into recording a full-length record unless I knew that the missing piece was going to be there, and that it would and Danny's downplaying it. The reality is Danny has pretty much produced the record, completely mixed the record. He's tracked half the record. He's really taken over the final recording process of the record. And I'm just sitting back Oh my God. I just
He's
love
a human.
it. I
He's a
love
human
that-
pro too. Now let me ask you this:
Yeah.
were you always like that? Because like I was just saying, it took me fucking 25 years to be like, yo, what do you think? Not even like that. I won't say like that, but to be like, you had to talk about my shit with fucking a lot of care because I was real touchy. Like,
Yeah.
we'll get rid of it, but you better watch how
Everybody
we
is.
get. Yeah, but I'm
Everybody
bad.
is.
I was bad. I'll admit it. I'll admit it. I definitely learned. Like, you know what it was also, I think, before everybody, you know how it was, some bands, Biohazard always seemed more as you guys work good with each other. Not that Madball we didn't, but it would be like, I'll go work my shit, Maddie, or whoever worked this shit, and then we'd be like, what do you got? What do you got? Oh, this what
It was
my
a
dick's bigger.
competition.
Who got the
It
bigger
was a
dick?
competition.
Yeah, but it was off at the end of the day for the to bang the same girl just the right way. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
we were, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, but that's why it was a friendly competition. You guys worked like together in a different way, which was like a cool thing. Again, I had an ego. Maddie had an ego, but he was definitely more open than me. I was too very hard headed. And the reason why I'm surprised that Dan's saying that, because so like I said, I would hear he was the song guy, and then I never met him, but he was around in bands and pop up whatever. And then another band came out that was named Nastasi, right? Your last name, correct?
No, we don't talk about that, bro.
Okay, well, we won't. But there was a band called
Hoya. It was the biggest mistake of my life.
All right, but listen, whatever it was, my whole thing was, when people do that, or they'll do like a stigma or whatever, I'm like, oh, these guys are the song guys. So I was like, oh, he's the song dude. He got all these songs. He said, fuck it, let me do my thing.
Yeah,
whatever it was. So that's
it was
why
also, it was the timing. Like it was right after All Borough Kings.
Gotcha.
Look, at the time with Dog Eat Dog, when things were really starting to like roll, I was engaged to be married. Like we got the Biohazard tour, and it was either I break off. Like my wedding, the band was not at my wedding. They were on tour with Biohazard. It was either cancel my wedding, lose my wife. Right. So it was what it was. Yeah. So
you missed all the bridge jumping to get married. You could have been jumping off the bridge.
I met like the love of my life. You know how it is, man. It's like, so the reality is, I'm not going to look back and like say, oh, well, I should have done this. The reality is that I wanted to start a family. When we signed the Dog Eat Dog contract with Roadrunner, I mean, we were in the lawyer's office. This is a true story. And the lawyer looks over and says, you realize that if you sell 500,000 copies or more, he's looking right at me. He goes, you lose all your publishing. And I laughed. I was like, who's going to sell 500,000 copies? I was like giggling, boy, did that come back to hit me. I lost $800,000,
Yeah, I hear you. I'll give you a better one. So I'll tell you, Madball's like, we're gonna get signed to Roadrunner. At the time, Roadrunner, biggest metal label, whatever. All right, whatever. What do? We don't. Let's get a lawyer. Who knows a lawyer? Freddie's living in the squat. I live in the basement of my parents. We don't got shit. All right, Willie got a friend. Here's a lawyer. All right, fuck, he's a lawyer. Come, we bring this guy. He was like a lawyer for like a building contractor. He was, you know what I mean? And this is what's this. I'll never forget this. He was like, he looks at the contract. He was like, well, it's a contract. This is us how we signed to Roadrunner now. Yeah. Everybody think Road. Literally, it was the basic the what they have in the encyclopedia for like record contracts. The one that it was basically that. And we were like, all right, we said the same shit.
Yeah.
Roadrunner wants to sign us.
You sell yourself.
I'm like, who the fuck are we? Who the fuck are we? Like, go ahead. They're lost. You know what I mean? Almost like, what the fuck? They're gonna lose in this deal.
Who's laughing now, man?
Yeah, exactly. I showed them.
I got them good.
I got them.
I tell you, man. You're talking about signing contracts. There was a day in Biohazard's history where in one day we signed two record contracts in one day.
That's amazing.
Like the same day that we signed to Roadrunner also to do Urban Discipline, we also signed the deal for Warner Brothers that kicked in 2 years later, the same fucking day. And the crazy thing was, when the Roadrunner thing started happening, we didn't want to leave Roadrunner.
Yeah.
You know?
I know.
We didn't want to
Yeah.
leave. I mean, the offices were on Lafayette Street, New York.
I know. I
We
used
knew
to
all the
run that
girls,
shit.
knew everybody
I
there.
used to run Roadrunner.
Yeah.
I used to run that shit. I used to walk through that spot like it was my living room.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, girl? Yo, what's up? Yo, what up? Go through the dance, just putting shit. Yo, I was the
It was
best.
great.
I loved it.
Everybody was from New York. We knew everybody, right? You knew
the
everybody there.
best.
Everybody was at all the shows.
How
It was
crazy is
such
that?
a
2
great vibe.
contracts in one day.
2 in one day, yeah.
How did that
Yeah.
feel, dude? Like
That
I
was
barely,
crazy.
I barely remember signing mine. Just if it wasn't for that contract shit, I bet I wouldn't even remember the story. Like literally.
Bro, I woke up, I got on the L train, went to the city, go to my lawyer's office, Michael Guido, God bless him. He structured the whole thing with Scott Koenig. You remember Scott?
Michael Guido.
Michael Guido, you remember Guido, of course.
Yeah.
And they structured the whole deal that way. And Warner Brothers gave us permission to do an independent record because we didn't want to come with a major label release for that record. You know, it was too much for us. Like, we didn't want it to be that way. We wanted it to be with a label that kept things as real as we wanted to be. And it was perfect. But I wish we could have stayed with Roadrunner at the end of the day. Even though Warner Brothers,
it was a great move, man.
it was an interesting move. But in the end of the day, we met some amazing people for Warner Brothers who were real. And I had an awesome experience with all of it. You know, I didn't have that record label experience where the big corporate guy smoking a cigar goes, "Yeah, kid, just keep cranking out the hits, and we'll take care of the rest." You know, it wasn't like that at all for us. It was like, they really let us do whatever the hell we wanted to do. We were very lucky. I
would have signed anything. They would say Warner Bros. I'll sign. Yeah, who the fuck? Like same thing, with the Roadrunner. I was like, are you kidding me? The biggest metal label wants us. Like we were about to sign to like Rat Cage Records, and I'm not even joking. Like, and then we ran into Howie, and Howie was like, "Yo, you guys doing Madball? Fuck that! Come to Roadrunner." We're like, "All right." I'm like, "I know Roadrunner. They got fucking Gorgoth or whatever fucking band." I was like, "All right."
I couldn't believe when you guys signed to Roadrunner. I mean, I remember me and Billy, we were like in Europe on tour or something. He was like, "Yo, I just heard Madball signed to Roadrunner." I was like, "No way!"
Yeah, crazy.
That's awesome, man.
I was even like, "What?" I was like, they shut. Maddie Henderson was trying to get out of the band at the time. I know, like, kind of, he was like trying to go to school because he wasn't making money, and he was there, man. And he's like, "Fuck, Roadrunner. Now I'm gonna have to make this happen." He was like, stressed,
crazy, isn't it?
And fucking
that's the same reason. That's it, man. Like, actually, Billy Graziadei gave the Dog Eat Dog demo to the Roadrunner European office, somebody over there, and all of a sudden one day Howie Abrams walks into Bond Street Cafe and he was like, "You guys want to make a record?" That was it. Like, we were like, at the time I was handling a lot of like whatever was going. I was like, "Hey man, if Howie Abrams wants to sign us, I don't care what label it is."
Exactly.
We're in. That was it.
And you know what? And shout out to fucking Billy. Because I'll tell you this, Billy puts on a lot of people. A lot of people mean well. Like, they'll be like, "Yo, I know this guy. Yeah, I'll put you on." Billy puts you on. Like, obviously he's fan with us. So, but he's the type like, "Yo, I got a hookup with that. Let's make it happen." Like, he gets on the phone and makes it happen. Like, he gets that shit. He's a grind. But a lot of dudes talk about it. They don't. But he's one of those guys like that. He'll pass your music around. A lot of dudes won't do that.
Yeah,
even if they got love for you, they'll be like, "Why should I?" Or like, they won't think of it. He'll be like, for whatever reason. There's certain dudes that do that. Roger does that. Billy's one of those guys.
I was just gonna say, when we first started out and we were playing, and Roger and Vinny was some of the first guys from the old school scene who came around to us and were like, "Yo, you guys are okay." They were so open about it that there was no ego involved. It was just about like, "Yo, you guys are a cool band. You're working hard. Cool. Let's do some shows." And that was amazing to see, because we all experience that too from a lot of other bands where you get that little bit of hatred, a little bit of jealousy.
Yeah.
Nope, we're not gonna do that for you. You know, like that kind of shit. And yeah, you know, it's much better to have that. You know, to me, and I think for the rest of Biohazard too, our opinion was always, if it's real and it's doing something that feels real and it's like something we're all a part of, then everybody can do it. You know, there's room for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and
I agree. Yeah. You guys always put people on. There's certain people that would do that. You guys put people on when you guys were on your way up, which very few people do.
Yeah.
We did the same shit. Whenever if they cracked the door for us, we came running through with all our boys, whoever we could squeeze through. When Biohazard let us creep in, we were like, all right, and we held the door open from there for the next dude to come in. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, that's exactly how it was. Like we felt like like people were recognizing us as a New York band, and we were like, wait, hold on a minute. We're not the first ones. There's a whole generation of guys came before. You don't know about them? Let us show you. I mean, there's there was Agnostic Front and Murphy's Law and Bad Brains and Sick of It All. Everybody, who came before us, and we were like, we just wanted to show everybody, like, yo, this is what's happening in New York. If you think you're seeing us first, you got to check out all this other stuff first. You know what I mean? Like, and that was our attitude back then.
And I know you came up, and I know you came up coming to shows in Brooklyn and the CBs. What was your spot? Was it the fucking fast lanes? What was your spot that you came up on? You a Jersey guy, right?
Yeah. Well, you got to understand, like, Monkey Pup started in like 1985.
I know it. I know it's like way old, like way before my time. I'm an 88 baby, like, as far as the hardcore shit comes.
Everybody talks about all these bands. Like, I was a senior in high school, and I was in Europe in 1988.
That's early on.
Tour in Europe.
Yeah.
In 1988.
I know that. Didn't you guys the first tour with Biohazard, right? Was that it was a Monkey Pup tour,
right?
And
that was like Monkey Pup. That was like our fourth tour in Europe.
Got you.
That was
already
for that was 1990. The Now album.
And Danny, you were already in the band, Danny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Biohazard? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, because I forget, because I remember from with Mio, and then a very short time, and then I just remember you. That's why, I don't remember meeting you. I just feel like I just remember knowing you.
I kind of feel the same way about you. Like I can't fit my finger on what I met you.
Because I was
always around.
That's what I mean. It was one of those. Like I don't remember being like, oh, that's the new drummer. But I remember Mio. I remember that because I seen one of Biohazard's first shows was in Queens in our own neighborhood.
Yeah.
And Evan still had tassels. I remember he had and I was like, yo, because I had seen them at CB's, and I know this was Biohazard always had the right marketing. I gotta say this even then. And my boy takes off his sweater. We're in the park, and he has a shirt with a Biohazard, the symbol on it.
A pretty good logo,
And exactly the logo. What the fuck is that? He goes, yo, it's some band. They played. See, they were just throwing shirts out, always with the stickers and the shirts. And I was like, and I remember everybody saying, yo, that's a dope logo. Fast forward, fucking everywhere. But then they were like, yo, they're playing in Queens. And that's where I met everybody. And I remember seeing Evan with the fucking tassels and the jacket. And I was like, oh shit, they got he's a metal guy. I was just kind of analyzing the band. Cause what I liked about them, they looked crazy, was one dude was skinned out. The drummer looked like a punk rocker. Evan had the metal thing. I was like, yo, they got one of everything. I was thinking everybody's covered, And then the next thing I know, it was, with you and whatever. But then I always heard about Biohazard and fucking Monkey Pup, right? That was the tour.
Right? that was really Chris Milnes, honestly. Chris Milnes loved Biohazard. And we had a market. We went to Europe in 1988. We went, we made Can't You Take a Joke? Then we made A Boy in a Man's World. Right away, there's another tour. Bang, right back to Europe. I actually, after we recorded A Boy in a Man's World, I left Monkey Pup, and I actually replaced Todd Youth in Murphy's Law in 1989. And so I went from Monkey Pup, touring with Monkey Pup, and then bang, Todd Youth, whatever happened, left Murphy's Law. I auditioned, and you know, I mean, and I love those guys, man, like Doug Beans and Chuck, and what
So who you
life
played with?
experience.
With that? That's the lineup you played with.
Yeah, Chuck,
Jesus.
Doug, me, and Jimmy.
That's a hard lineup to say you fucking play. First of all, I always
incredible.
heard about you playing with Murphy's Law, but I didn't know it was with that lineup. Now I like you a little more.
Yeah. That was like 1989.
That's the
And then
hard fucking
as soon
lineup
as I
right there.
joined Murphy's Law, you know, Mucky Putt was touring A Boy in a Man's World all over, like, you know, US, in Europe, you know, and I mean like big, like, you know, like 1,000 people a night, like, you know, doing well.
Yeah.
Then when I was in Murphy's Law, we booked a tour in Europe, and half the tour was with the Mucky Pup tour promoter. Remember Johan, Danny,
Johan.
Metal
Yeah,
Day, right? And the other half of the tour was for Mark, MAD. So we did like 10, 12 dates with Metal Say at the time. And then we did like another, I think it was at least 20 dates with MAD. And they were very different, like every squat. But some of those shows, there was like 3,000 people. Like, you know, we're in Italy, stuck in Milan in the American hotel for 3 days. Like, it was such a life experience. And
those were some crazy shows back like in 1990, 91 in Europe. Those are some crazy shows, man.
There's videos of that shit too. You know, people send me videos every once in a while. But I'll tell you, man, first of all, Jimmy, like, just treated me so well. Like, really, he taught me so much about life. Really, like, it opened my eyes. And, you know, I love, obviously, you know, Chuck, God rest his soul. Like, I love those guys. And, you know, I believe like the situation was like after being a Murphy's Law for like a year and a half. And it was awesome, man. We like go to Boston, the Chance Theater sold, you know, Poughkeepsie, the Chance sold out, go to Boston, you know, all the Channel, I think was it was such an experience.
Murphy's
the
Law,
reality
that's exactly an experience. Murphy's Law at its best is an experience.
And,
for sure.
and I'm like indebted. Like, they just treated me so well and taught me so much about life. I was 19 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's our era of guys and bands. We were all 15, 16. Now people are older.
Crazy.
That's you know, it's weird. It was common for in our day. In our day, it was common. But it was common that, you know, oh, who's the oldest guy in the band? He's 17. You know, everybody else was like, right. I remember that being very common. Like the 18-year-old dude. Oh, he got the car. He got a license, and like. You know, it was like a big deal. Now it's like right away, it just seems a little bit older, like, you know, not as kiddie as when we were kids.
I was 19 when I joined Biohazard.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
You know, I got kids older than that now in my house, you know, and I'm like, I can't believe I was already running around.
Now, let me ask you, when you guys toured with each other, were you obviously you were cool with each other, but were like, you cool, like, you know, some guys in the bands click more than others. Did you click like that, or you were just cool? Like,
I mean, I don't know if everybody on the tour was cool with each other, but
of course,
in terms of,
I'll answer that. No,
like me, and
let me answer that. I wasn't there.
Yeah,
no, they were not.
The reality was, like, the Murphy's Law thing. I was literally in Europe when I told Jimmy, I was like, listen, you know, I had to leave Murphy's Law because it wasn't mine. You know what I mean? That it wasn't me. Like, it was them. And me and Chuck and Doug wrote, like, I thought, like, an unbelievable record. But when it came down to it, like, I was not Murphy's Law. And I certainly wasn't going to pretend that I was. And Mucky Pup was like my band, you know, like, I was like, you know, I wrote a lot of the material, and even though it was like juvenile and like it was basically like a comedy act, you know what I mean? But it was mine. So I immediately went back to the States, and we literally went in the studio with Mucky Pup, finished writing. We wrote the Now record maybe in 2-3 weeks, recorded it, and Chris had already he was like, yo, this band Biohazard, man, it's like it's its own thing. It's unbelievable. And I think they signed a little deal with this company, Maze Records, but I want to take them to Europe. And I was like, and I'll be honest, I was like, who's Biohazard? Like, I had no
Yeah.
idea, you know?
Yeah.
But it was Chris Milnes who was like, he was a guy that put people on. He was like, I don't care. I think they're great. Let's bring them to Europe. And I was like, hey, man, whatever you want to do. But it turned out to be like the time of our lives, man. I mean, some of the stories. I mean, Danny broke his foot like 5 days into the tour. He played the whole tour with a broken foot.
I think the toe on that foot is still broken, by the way. By the way, I might be witness to that.
I know that story.
How the fuck you broke your foot?
We were playing a show like in I forget, we were in Denmark or Holland or something, and we got off stage, and it was just like, you know, the old days, you know, these shows were like in little punk rock clubs, and I mean the whole stage was soaked in, like, literally soaked in beer and water. And I stepped up on the stage to load my drums off, and some kid in the audience was like, yo, drumstick, please, drumstick, drummer, give me a drumstick, you know? And I was like, oh, hold on a minute. I went back behind the drum kit to get a drumstick, and I go to hand it to the guy, and I step in a puddle of beer on the stage and bust my ankle like off my leg, like Conor McGregor style. Hit the floor, and the dude's like, give me the drumstick. I'm like, here's your fucking drumstick. And he left me laying there, and I'm like, ah. And Bobby Hamill finds me. He's like, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm like, bro, I broke my foot. You got to get me out of here. And like, he picks me up and like humps me out to the back door of the club.
You're like a Vietnam guy. He like a Vietnam guy dragging you
we're
out.
like two survivors, you know, like I'm coming out of the jungle, you know.
Don't worry, you're coming home.
I got you, man.
We're going home.
I remember we had Danny in a wheelchair going through like the subway, like going through the turnstiles.
But the wheelchair sucked because the wheelchair wasn't one of those like you could do it yourself.
Yeah,
it had push little tiny wheels on it. Like, you remember when you went to school, public school, and they had a little metal chair?
That sucks.
Put 4 little wheels on it, and somebody else push.
Listen,
my wheelchair.
You know what you just reminded me of? It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But when you said little wheels, I know you two old motherfuckers know this one. The skates with the metal wheels you used to put over your sneaker.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! First of all, you hit a pebble, you die.
Yeah.
Number one, and you had it.
Wait, hold on. You had to have that key to open that up. So
that key, you needed the key. God forbid you don't have the key.
You don't have that key. Don't lose that key.
When you ride the metal wheels, ride the metal wheels like on the bumpy street, and like it was literally like your nuts were vibrating. Like,
that's why we need knee replacements now. We got bad hips
because we rode those metal wheels over the sidewalks in New York City, which are all little pebbles.
How crazy were those things? I just remember when you said the little wheels. I was like, how about the little metal wheels? How they fucking suck.
I thought you were gonna say cryptos like the old days.
I remember the crypto. No, cryptos was that would have been a step up.
Oh yeah,
fucking metal. Ooh. And if you had jelly shoes
on my skateboard,
how about those metal skates over jelly shoes?
Oh yeah, jelly shoes? I did it. I did the metal skates with no shoes. We just had socks.
I could tell. Trust me. Again, I know you did.
Up and down the driveway.
That explains a lot on that foot of yours.
It's the toe, right?
There's a secret to Danny's double bass, and it has something to do with extra weight on one toe. It kind of gives him a little extra snap.
Bro,
a little.
I have no idea how bad it is.
but all right, let me ask you this though. So when you recorded it, where did you record it? Because I know you both are studio guys, have house studios, right? And I didn't know. I thought you have like a setup in your house, don't you?
I got Hoya. I learned how to use GarageBand on like I googled it like on YouTube.
In my head, you're like Ingve, like kind of Bob Rock.
I am not a tech guy, man.
You know,
you know how I record?
You got the wrong impression of him, bro.
I know. I'm like,
you go, man.
Yo, if I had a band called Hoya, I'd be like, yo, that dude's the shit. They had Anastasia. I was like, yo, this motherfucker must know Pro Tools. And
we wrote all the songs. We wrote all the demos on the phone.
Here, this is a new song idea.
That's good. That's how we all do it, right? Kind of a form like that. You know what you got to do when you guys open you do a website and you do a Patreon or something. You're gonna put those up as your special extras is those.
Yes.
The original tracks is that. Let me tell you, that's a PDF or what are these new things? PFTs,
I got
R2D2.
special for you guys today.
Let me tell you, I'll sell everything. Everything's for sale now. Everything's for sale now. If I can't play a show, I'm gonna sell it.
Whatever it takes, man.
Whatever it takes to survive in this fucking world. God damn it.
Yeah.
But where did you record this?
Well, we did all the demos at a studio in Jersey. That was our rehearsal room. And basically, we recorded them all on the iPhone, and that was how we put all the songs together. And like Danny said before, it was like a 6-week process. Like he and I in the studio. Then we brought Jay, our bass player, in, and we brought the rest of the guys in, Larry and Dylan, and we started playing as a band. So we rehearsed the songs. Once everybody felt good about everything, we went in, and I was like, we got to feel like what this feels like as a real band, because I'm still uncertain. Danny's uncertain. We're making all these changes, rewriting all his songs, all his precious little nuggets.
Yeah.
We got the whole band in the studio, and within like 2 weeks, I was like, we're ready to make a record. Like it sounds really good in the studio in the rehearsal room. So I called a friend of mine, my friend Joe DeMeo has a studio in Long Branch, New Jersey. Place is called Shorefire Studios. And it's like Hoya, it's like the most old school room you'll ever see in your life.
Dope.
Like he's got all the modern technology, Pro Tools, all the new stuff. But the studio is really built around an early 70s English console that's extremely rare that the Who and Led Zeppelin, everybody recorded on.
Shout out to all the English. They kill it with the fucking audio.
Yeah, they had the audio down, audio files. But the room is like up 2 flights of stairs in an old building. Stairs are sideways, dilapidated. But the live room is like literally like a theater. It's like a big old building. Nothing's changed since the 70s. It was a studio in the 70s. Joe DeMeo keeps running it now. He keeps it going. And it's just a big room where you could set up a whole band. He's got little ISO booths. But the idea was, I told Danny, I said, let's make this record live. Everybody's going in. All these bands are making records with click tracks and trigger sounds.
Yeah.
And they're doing it in their bedroom, and it sounds great, and that's great. But what I want to capture, what we should capture with this is the live sound of a real band playing. And if that sounds, some people might say that's the old way of doing things, right? And it is the old way of doing things. But you can make a record any way you want. But at the end of the day, if you're going to go on stage and play it, you're going to play it live. So that really is the ultimate test of a band, is a live performance.
Of course.
So we went into the studio. We chose Shorefire in Long Branch because, I know the guy there. I know he's great. Biohazard did. We started tracking our last record there when the band ended. And I knew it was just a great room where we could set up the band live. And we recorded the album live. No click tracks. There's no triggers on the record. There's not even reverb on the record.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you this, Danny. Before this, what was the last recording you did? Did you do any? I mean, I know you recorded without click tracks, but did you do any other recordings before this, like that got, that got put out, that you did like that without a click track recording?
Well, a couple of the Biohazard records we did very live like that also.
I remember you would do live. I remember, but it was even, you would do the whole track like that, because Madball did some records that, they were live, but what we would do is we would come into the click, and that was just to use it to a start and then pull it out in the early days. Later on, I'm a click dude now, like in a lot of ways.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with doing it.
But I because I know you guys would do the live thing, but I wasn't sure when you did the big records that they didn't automatically be like, yo, you guys got to do the click. Because back then too, some motherfuckers were like trying to be
the biggest Biohazard records we recorded totally like Urban Discipline. Ain't no click on Urban Discipline. Wow. No samples on Urban Discipline. Same thing on State of the World Address. Those records were, we might have had a click just to keep us like consistent at the beginning of the song. Like
exactly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that doesn't count here.
But then it was out.
Wow.
It was up to us to do, and that was the way we always did it. And I respect every way of recording, however you want to capture your music. But with Kings Never Die, the way it felt in the studio with us playing just felt powerful to me.
Yeah.
And me and Dan talked about it with the other guys, and it was like, yo, we're gonna rehearse. We're gonna get really good together, and then we're gonna go to the studio. We're gonna bang this out in a day and a half.
Yeah.
And that was what we did. And Danny went back in, did some other guitars. And then, of course, like vocals, we didn't do live in the room. We did vocals in our little rehearsal room later. And that's all we really did, you know? And I think the record sounds really good. I mean, it's obviously not a $500,000 production, but you know what? I think we're getting the energy across.
Listen, right now, technology, how it has everything, the right, you know, it gets, you know, the right preamps, the right sound, everything sounds good. You know, that's the thing now. Everything sounds good. It's just something sound better than the next, but nothing's, it's hard to make something sound bad. There's a lot of bad music, but bad production is really, really, really hard to find nowadays.
You know, with the technology that exists, it's like the internet. Like I say all the time to my friends, like humans are too stupid for the internet. We're still catching up. And it's the same thing with all this technology. Like I'm, you know, I make music for fucking bad people. You know, for bad kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not making classical.
True. That's true.
So for me, I mean, you throw all this technology at me. I don't like having too many choices, man. It hurts my brain. So for me, I just keep it simple. You know,
I'm a sophisticated kind of gorilla. You know what I mean? I'm like a gorilla. I'm a gorilla with a little pen thing, and you know. And tracking guitars. All right, let me ask you, because I know you've always recorded, and obviously from hearing from you, you know, you're not very tech savvy from what you've been telling me. Recording wise, did you are you familiar with recording with click, or did you always click this style also?
I recorded one time in my life to a click track.
One time, that's it.
One time, and that was
wow.
When I wrote a couple songs for Eddie for Leeway.
Yeah,
you know that
I'm your pusher.
I'm your pusher.
Yeah,
and I did that with Laz, and I played the guitar with no drums to a click track. And then the drummer tried to play. Now for Laz, that worked because he was producing it, and I was like, hey man, however you want to do it. And I do think that he did an unbelievable job with that song. And I'm proud of the song. And I think Eddie did an awesome job with the song. But after I did that, after I recorded that song with him, I said, oh my God, I'll never record to a click track again. Now, obviously, if recording this record would have been, if the best way was to do it to a click track, of course I would have done it. Yeah. But I think even Danny will tell you, like, you've heard the songs. You've heard, I sent you half the record.
Yeah.
How the hell could those songs be done with a click track? I'm like, who's going to program the click track?
Yeah, now that's how exactly you would have to fucking, exactly. You would have to,
that is
be a roadmap
of the music is like, it sounds alive. And that was, you know, like Danny's like, man, it's just got to sound alive. Don't worry about like the kick drum. It doesn't have to be in a, you know, like, and the fact is that what you hear on the record is Danny's live drumming. There's no punches, no anything. My original guitar track, I think I maybe did, when we tracked them, what did I do? Like maybe 4 songs. I did a little punch, Dan.
Yeah, there was like a couple little things you fixed, but that was it.
Yeah.
And Jay Calvin is like I'm just gonna tell you, he's one of the best bass players I've ever seen play, and that includes everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, like Craig Ahead's phenomenal bass player.
Yeah.
Boy, you're a phenomenal bass player in terms of like, you know, like holding it down, man. Like you're the maestro. I see it when I see it live, right? It's your style. You don't.
No, I know what you mean.
You have your thing, right? Yeah. There's a lot of, you know, Chuck Valley was a phenomenal bass player. I know a lot of guys that, you know, really good, solid bass players. Jay Calvin is a special player. Yeah. And he's not just a bass. He's like you. He could play. I mean, he's way better than me on guitar. Like he rips it. You know what I mean? The guy is talented.
It's up when you got those
and he
guys.
Can sing too, Jay.
Yeah,
I hate guys like that. I hate guys like that.
And
too much talent.
Honest, the first day, I was nervous, man. When he came in the first day, I was nervous. I was like, oh my God. Like, and the first 3 songs that we were working on, I could tell right away. And Danny will probably tell you too. Like, Danny and Jay just locked. Like, just.
And you need that. You need that bass and that drums on point.
for me, I need it bad. You know, for me, that was like the deciding factor of me continuing to do this record with Kings Never Die, was when Danny said, I'm going to bring the bass player Jay in, who I'd never met before. Me and Danny had been playing in the studio for a month, and I'd never met anybody else in the band. He's like, I'm going to bring the bass player Jay in. And then he brings Jay in, and Jay just kind of worked his way in to the rehearsal room, you know, set up. He had a great sound, a great attitude, and playing with him was the easiest thing. Like, I was like, wow.
That was great. When
we were done that first night, I was like, he's a great bass player. You know, he plays with me. These guys play with me. It's good. You know, like, you know, sometimes you play with guys, they kind of play against you a little bit.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Somebody really laying on the drums, like Evan Seinfeld. You know, me and Evan as a rhythm section, to me, that was phenomenal because his bass playing, simple, but he always laid on the drums. You know, I never, ever had to worry about him making a mistake or him being out of sync with me.
Yeah.
You know, it was always automatic.
Yeah.
With Jay, quickly, you know, Jay kind of gave me that feel like, hey, I'm solid. I'm rock solid. I'm with you. You know, we got it locked down, the back end, you know, the bottom end. So that was for me, a big deciding factor. Like, if there ain't a great bass player, I don't want to be in a band.
You need it, and especially for songs like that, like I said, there's a more rock and roll kind of feel like that, more songs. I hate saying songs because it says, like, you know, that you can't have, you know, the harder, heavy music. We don't have great songs. We do. But these, when I say songs, it's more for the ear than not every song is for the pit. You know what I mean? There's just good tunes, like well put together songs, transitions, variety within a song, you know, enough candy, not too much, just enough. That's what, you know, when I hear music, I'm always listening for that. Oh, there's a slow song. There's the fast song. That's the song with the metal breakdown. This is the song with the sing along. Or this is the song with the, you know, how you break down all these things. Now you have just the right amount. Like I said, even when you're playing on these songs, why I bugged out, because it had that rock and roll feel, meaning not even, but that Biohazard, like I said, was never stiff, but it was a straight groove different. This was more songs, like where the vocals, the whole tune carries, not just the mosh part. Biohazard had, you know, your big sing along, and then the drop. This, the vocals are doing the work, and the whole tune, the vibe of the tune. So it had a different feel. I really bugged out on you, Danny. That not even like, I was just more like, wow, that's Danny. Like, it just, I wasn't used to. I thought it was gonna be more.
I think you could tell it's him right out of the gate, man. Like right away. I played it today for Booj. I played Booj, the record today. And he was like, it's the first time he heard the whole record, and he was like, you know, it's Danny Schuler. Like, in 2 seconds, I knew it was him. Like, but I do agree. Like, I don't think anybody's ever heard Danny play on like something that is a lot more like punk rock.
That's what I mean.
You know, it's got like punk rock.
Exactly. That's what I mean by the rock and roll. Like, Biohazard would have snippets of a punk rock moment here and there. They'll throw in a fast, crazy punk rock, and then go into the bio. This is the songs are when I don't use the word punk because to me it's in the in between where I say rock and roll. It's more of a compliment in my eyes. No, I ain't trying to diss punk, but that it has more this than the of punk. You know, there's more like a flow and a little bit more. It's more slicker than punk.
You know, when I started hearing the songs that Danny had the ideas for, and we started developing them, you know, I mean, I of course in my mind I have a vision for my band, you know, and I always think like hard, heavy, just bad, hard.
Yeah.
You know, that's because that's just
no.
That's just the wires missing in my brain. But stepping into this situation with Kings Never Die and listening to their stuff, you know, it struck me as a more musical thing that still had like a street punk kind of attitude to it. But, you know, I was just wanting to hear like heartfelt lyrics, you know, and music that was just coming from a place of like, you know, heartfelt lyrics, heartfelt music. And Danny, the you know, the nucleus of a lot of these songs and riffs were things that Danny came up with. And when we started developing the songs together and rewriting the songs, I didn't want to change the direction of it to make it sound like Biohazard, you know, because that would be obvious. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
what I mean. That's what I mean. I'm glad to catch you that it did that, because it would have been typical for you to be in a harder type of band. Everybody
Yeah.
would want to get Danny. You know,
Yeah.
sure, if you need a drummer, let's.
Yeah. And believe me, I just want to play hard music. But
Yeah.
this was like, you know, one of those things where the songs were appealing to me because they were all coming from a place of like authenticity, you know. And for me, I don't judge music like there's this kind of music, there's this kind. If it feels authentic and real to me, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is, it could be hardcore music, it could be rock and roll, it could be whatever. If it's authentic, I'm a fan. You know, I want to get into your vibe, I want to feel it. And when we were rewriting the songs, I just kept telling Danny, don't play me the demos, don't play me anything. Just play the riffs that you're excited about.
Mhm.
Play what you're most excited about first. I want to tap into your excitement,
Yeah.
you know, and so I get your feel. We can figure this out and make this the most exciting thing we can. And that was how we processed the songs together. And it was a quick, easy, relatively easy process, Danny, right?
How many songs in total?
We ended up tracking, I think, 12 or 13.
Yeah.
But there were more. But it was like time to make a record. I didn't want to stagnate on too much rehearsal, too much thinking. You know, we could have sat in the studio and easily came up with 25 songs. But
Yeah.
from my experience, that's where you start to get stagnant. You start overthinking and going, hey, you know, we're becoming songwriters here. This is serious. You know?
Yeah.
I don't want it to turn
All
out.
right. Let me ask you. Let me ask you guys this: who's the studio Nazi? There's always one. That guy right there, of course. Yeah, exactly.
Me? Well, no, I just listen. To me, it's just why waste time in the studio? You know,
Yeah.
I knew time is money. You know,
Yeah.
and if you're going into the studio. Granted, we didn't pay a lot of money to get this record done. We kept it cheap because we had our own system to record everything on in the rehearsal room. But going into the big room at Surefire, you know, you spend the money and you want to make efficient use of the time. So my whole thought was, let's be rehearsed enough where we feel good about the songs, and let's just go in there and bang it out in a day.
Yeah.
You know, get it done in a day, maybe a day and a half. Because anything beyond that, it becomes boring. You lose that vibe. You know, I'm all about that live vibe. I'm all about the show. I'm all about, you know, playing with that feeling of like there's an audience and it means something that way. You know, I'm not a big fan of studio playing just like with a click track at the headphones, just looking at a friggin' a wooden wall with a pad on it.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. You know, to me, I always want to record records live, always.
Yeah.
This was a way to do it. You know, we finally did it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the other thing, it was like time to go to work, kind of like experience. The other thing was, you know, we originally went into making the record with kind of like a plan, right? Like originally, Jerry Farley was going to make the record with us. So when we went in and we had the date the first date to track it, we had 2 days, right? Danny, 2 days?
2 days.
So we had the first day and we went in with like the whole team and we set up and we were going to track live. And so we tracked with Danny on drums, me playing guitar and Jay on bass. And it was like very workman-like, I would say. It was actually like so much fun, but it was very workman-like. And and we had Jerry Farley in the studio with us that the first 2 days, and Jerry was like exceptional at like keeping everybody focused in and let's bang this out, has great ideas. And you know, ultimately when it came down to it, there's two people that really I'm indebted to. One is Jerry, because unfortunately we figured out going into it that we were not going to be able to afford to have Jerry produce the whole record. But we couldn't have made the record without one of my very best friends, Scott Tatino, the tapeworm, who basically financed the record. So, you know, I just want to make sure like I thank both of them, because we wouldn't have been able to make the to even have an opportunity to make the record without those two guys.
Yeah.
And, hopefully things go well with this record. We'll be able to, properly maybe have like a little bit of a budget where we can make a record with Jerry down the road but I will tell you that the way we made the record, I wouldn't change it for anything, because it was all 3 guys in the studio, 5 guys in the studio, everybody's opinion, everybody has a say. Like it was exciting to do because it really was a team effort.
And you guys
You know what I'm saying?
you guys are players, like, that are.
Boy,
seasoned
I'm the
players.
hat. Like, I am the worst musician in the band, and I'm cool with that. Like,
That's me. That's my position in my band
awesome.
too. So
It's awesome.
trust me.
I'm the worst.
I mean, I'm a rhythm guitar player, dude.
I always say that. I give myself some pride. I say I'm a killer, but I know I'm the worst dude in my band. So when dudes fuck up, that's why I flip. Because if I'm not fucking up, you better not fuck up.
I heard your podcast with Mike the other day.
Yeah. That's how it is.
He's he's phenomenal. I mean,
You gotta be. We got one guitar, so our one guitar, I'll cut your head off. Like, I know you're human, but no, you can't be human. You gotta be a cyborg when you play for Madball. That's
That dude is a machine. That dude is a machine.
He has to, of course, and he's fucking 8 feet of him too. There's a lot of machine in them.
Thank God we got Larry the Hunter, man, because Larry
has a killer.
Like
He's
a killer.
See, again,
You know what I mean?
Played on 1 billion recordings too, and the guys that done a lot of recordings, that's a big help.
Yeah.
Guys that can go in the studio and know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, Larry's played live, in Murphy's
saying
Law
1 billion times. Yeah, of course.
And he's also like, I love, like, I came up with the beginnings of the band was because of Larry. We had a phone conversation. I'm like, I've been writing, like, and he's like, yo, why don't we get together? I'm like, you want to hear some stuff? And boom. And we just did it like out of a friendship and like the love for wanting to make and create music together. You know what I mean? And that's what making this record was about. It was about just finding like the right people that you're excited and you want to make music with. And I think that people, when they hear the record, right? Now the next step is obviously we need like the right worldwide partner to license the record to, and or a label that wants to release the record. But when people hear the record, I think that they're gonna sense that like this is like real, like this is for real. And the sound of the record.
No, but for sure. And also, by the way you've been working it, like, the band's got around, like
nurturing.
Like I'm saying, like, you're working it, like it's around. People know the band's. I'm doing something, putting stuff out. You got merch out. You're very active, which is good because it shows that, like, look, we're not just throwing a band together because. It's a lot of people in this world do that. They throw a band together, because it's easy for the quick, for the first month or two, and then reality settles in, and they realize, oh, you actually got to put work into this. And then, but my boys don't.
Look, at
Madball does good.
Lives.
Madball does good, and they automatically think, automatically could do it. Like, yeah, we also been doing this for 27 years. People leave that part out too.
Yeah, but we're not 25 years old. You know what I mean? So I'm not. Danny's not going to do something if it's not like, if you're not like focused in and you're ready to put in work. I'm not going to do. I'm not wasting my time, man. I'm not 25 years old anymore. But I think that this is something special, and I just want people to have the opportunity to hear it. And I think when people hear it, I truly believe that people will feel the music, and they will. It's got the music has a message. Danny said it before, like. These aren't like nonsense bullshit lyrics. Yeah. It's not funny. It's not like this has like a message. You know what I mean? And it's where we're at in our lives. You know what I mean?
What's the single? What's the hit right now? If they were like, yo, we're gonna do a video right now. Warner Brothers say, yo, we remember Biohazard when we signed Biohazard. We want King Never Dies. Yo, we're gonna give you. Hold on, I'm not finished yet. We're gonna give you that big $1 million budget. What's the song you motherfuckers are doing that I'm gonna be producing? Good video. What's that what's your what's your hit right now that you think, you know what I mean by hit, by if you're gonna put something out to the masses right now, the first one, you know how you got to think about it, Dan, both you guys, when you put out a record, it doesn't have to so much be maybe your favorite, but the best representation to be, okay, let's do this video on this song, or let's put this song out to show what this band is, a good representation of this band. If you got to pick one of your songs.
I would never release what I think is the best song on the record. I think there's 2 songs on the record that are just
that are the ones
that really are. But I wouldn't release one of those as like the first thing, because like Hoya,
that's what I mean.
You heard half the record, right? But there's another 6 songs to the record, or 7 songs. So that I think when you hear the complete album, I think, you know, the record, like it's a hardcore record. Like any way you want to look at it. Like when you hear the record, it's a hardcore record, but I think it's more than, you know, hardcore is about expressing yourself, being yourself. And this record does that. Like,
it's definitely refreshing right now. Very refreshing right now, which is a good thing. You know, it's easy to say, like, I got a different style metal band. I got a different style, beat down band. Okay. It's not that. It's refreshing with old elements. Like I said, I hear the old style shit in there. But it's not, it doesn't sound like you're trying to be, a youth crew band. And then, like I said, I hear, it's not punk rock. I hear, I would say like a punk oi-ish vibe, but I hear it more rock and rollish with the beer drinking. That's why I go towards the oi more than the punk, but it got more pocket. Exactly. And it got more pocket than punk. So that's why I go to rock and roll as being the middle ground. That's what I always do. Like when Madball doesn't have a hard song and we try to write a song, we say it got more rock and roll in it. Yeah. Because it just got, that's what a real song is, rock and roll.
To me, one of my favorite Madball songs is Rev Up, period. Like that is just a kill. I don't care if who played it and what, like, it's a great song.
Yeah.
So do you like, what, you're not going to play? You wrote a great song, or somebody in your band or your band created. Yeah. You're not going to play that song, like,
because you know why I asked this question, and I was wondering from your guys' opinion, because I don't know all your songs, but I want to hear what songs you guys each individually pick. Because, like for instance, when we put out Pride for Madball, which it's an anthem. When they told us to do that video, I flipped on the band. I was like, Pride. Are you fucking bugging? Like, I love Oi, and that was our Oi song, but I was like, are you bugging? I go, we're demonstrating my style, motherfuckers. Like, are you kidding me? I go, we got to take motherfuckers' heads off. And they were like, yeah, but Pride is a little bit more palatable and the sing along. And I'm like, but fuck that. We got to take heads off. And then, but in the long run, that was the young, meathead.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
And then Maddie and all the other guys kind of saw the bigger picture, and I get it now. And at the end of the day, it's a good, it's a semi-good. It ain't a full representation of what Madball is, but it's definitely a part of it. Yep. But I get it. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what it is, man? I think that always coming up in bands, like, in order for your band to really reach as many people as possible, because really, that's what we all really want to do. Yeah. I mean, even though maybe some of us never wanted to be in the biggest band in the world, never wanted to sell 1 million records, wanted to keep it at kind of a small, more underground level. What we really want to do is reach people. We want people to hear our music and go, wow, that means something to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to hear more of that. And, when it comes down to it, like with these songs, like for me, listening to our music that we just did with this Kings Never Die record, the goal was to make every song meaningful and have it come from a place where it was real. And, when you make music, if you can't limit yourself to your style.
Yeah.
You have to stick with your roots, of course, and keep your identity. But at the same time, you don't want to exclude anybody.
Yeah.
The best music, the best songs are the songs that include most people, because there's never a song that's everybody's thing.
But I know what you mean. I was leaning towards the meathead. That's why in that situation, I was like, I was more looking at that. We're the hardcore band and we got to rep for New York hardcore. So we got to come with not looking at like, yeah, everybody already knows that about us. Now let's hit them with something else. That was the logic to it. But, I wasn't trying to hear that then.
Coming out of New York, we all had those blinders on.
Yeah.
So we were all stuck in that tough guy meathead mentality, especially with the song. We didn't want the songs that had hooks. We wanted the songs that like, yo, they go off.
Yeah, exactly. That's all we care about.
That
came
was
years
like,
later. Yeah, years later, we're like, I could write a song. That's me 26 years later.
Yeah.
Yo, we gotta write songs. I could write songs like them.
Yeah. Well, you can't abandon the old style.
Yeah,
you gotta keep
for
that.
Sure.
You still gotta keep them bangers in there.
When you got gorilla paws, like Zoli says, I can't it's only what's gonna come out, it's gonna come out. You know what I mean? But, all right.
Danny's talking about the song "This One's for You." It's like a funny story in the studio where Danny, you tell it. It was like two guys at once were like,
okay. Well, let me answer Hoya's question first, though, because you want to know which song. The song for me would be This One's for You. It's the name of the song on the Kings Never Die.
You think that would be like a good, like, all right, let's show the world. There's a little bit of.
No, it's not. It shouldn't be the first song, but it's the song.
Shouldn't be the first one.
It shouldn't be the first, but that's the song you're saying. That's
because I want people to meet the band for the majority of what we do, which is that, still kind of hard, but But,
okay, that's what I mean. What would be that first song? Which one you would say now? All right, and what do you say? This is where you get the nitty gritty. Right now, we're gonna fix this, so we're gonna come out with the right one because we're gonna meet in the middle. Danny, what you got?
Hard for me to say. Maybe the song "Rally." We have a song called "Rally" that I kind of like because it's kind of got like a punk kind of riff to it, and it's a song that, to me, I mean, Danny told me the title of the song "Rally," and I remember sitting in the studio going, "This has to be a song that involves everybody. I don't want to call this something where people got to be like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
I'm left out. I can't relate.
It means a lot of things.
This has got to be a song that brings everybody together. Rally is a great song that does that to me. But what Dan was saying about the song, This One's for You, like Rally would be my pick for the first one.
Yeah.
Let people get that little bit of flavor. Oh, they're kind of punky. They kind of got a little bit of this going on.
Exactly.
Cool. This One's for You, though, would be my second one where we kind of go, yep, this song has all the elements of all that, but it opens up a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Danny wrote the song, right? And I don't know what your title was, but it became This One's for You. But you wrote it, from what I remember, you were writing a song about your daughter.
Yeah. I wrote it about and for my daughter. Remember, it was This One Here's for the Irish.
Yeah.
Tried and true. Yeah. This one here's for the Irish part of you, because my wife is Irish, I'm Italian. And my daughter, like, it's the Irish part of her. And Danny and Dylan, Danny first, and then Dylan were like, would you be opposed to changing those? And I was like, no, I'm not changing. And then, like, literally, I was like, it's about my daughter. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
Because I was going to say I would have put Ecuadorian, Nicaraguan on that part. But whatever.
Literally,
but
on the drive home from the studio, riding home from the studio that night, I think I wrote about 3/4, maybe like 3/4 of like the lyrics. And then like with every song, no song is done until like this record, me, Danny, and Dylan all kind of go through every lyric. And, Danny's like completely rewritten lyrics to songs. Dylan he shouldn't ever sing any song or have anything come out of his mouth that he doesn't believe in and identify with. And he's that type of guy. Like he's a pretty serious fucking dude. Yeah. He's got a message.
Get back to the song though. So the song, Danny wrote the song about his kids, about his daughter. Yeah. And he showed it to me. And I was like, okay, I get it. It's beautiful. It's a great idea for a song, but does it belong in this band, number one? And number two, what is the Irish? Where's the Irish thing coming from? Look, I'm half Irish, so I'm good with that. You want to, you want to get half the Irish,
like the Jewish, like the good half. Yeah, it's the good half.
It's the good half. Yeah. But to me, yeah, this one's for the Irish. Absolutely, 100%. It's for the Irish. That's great. But what about people in the rest of the world? I mean, something we all learn, Hoya, especially when we all started going to Europe back in the day, right?
Yeah.
What was the first thing we learned? I know for me, the first show Biohazard did outside the country, not to keep harping on Biohazard, but quick story. We flew to Copenhagen, Denmark, and that was the first show for Biohazard ever outside the United States in 1990. And I remember my mind was blown by the culture. We played a squat, a punk rock squat. All the punk kids came. All they wanted to do was talk about George Bush and Iran and all that. And I was like, yo, can't we just have fun at the show and hang out?
Right. Yeah,
It was
right.
serious. And I remember after the show, Bobby Hamble said to me, he was like, yo, man, kids over here, it's different. And I was like, you're right. And from that tour, when we were in Biohazard, it was like, we learned that all the songs that we were writing back in New York and playing for our friends at L'Amour's maybe didn't include a lot of kids from all over the world.
Yeah.
And we had to change our way of thinking, like, yo, man,
Yeah.
there are kids everywhere in the world feeling the same way as us. We can't push them out by saying, oh, you ain't from Brooklyn. You can't relate to what we're talking about. We had to write songs that everybody could relate to. This song, I said to Dan, I was like, it's a great, beautiful sentiment to write a song for your kids. That's something we all want to do. We all got
Of course.
kids. But to specify like this one's for the Irish.
No,
Yo,
I get it.
This one is for everybody.
Yeah, no,
And
for
the
sure.
title changed. It became This One's for You. And it really became a song that is dedicated for us to how much our family, friends, and all this shit means to us. And
Yeah.
I love the song because the words and the melodies of it came from a place of us really all talking about the shit we love in our life and how we're going to represent that in a song. And it didn't come from a place of like, let's write a hit song.
Yeah.
It came from a place of us talking about our kids.
Yeah.
And that's where it came from. A beautiful thing, you know?
And that's also being a seasoned guy to catch something like that. Like he's still seeing what you're trying to say, but now, okay, we got to feed it, so everybody can feel that way because
let's include everybody.
Yeah, to include everybody because we've all learned that the more records you make, even subconsciously, you start learning like, you won't specifically don't need to say, I come from this avenue on this street and this and that, you could just say in my world, it's fucked up. And then everybody could, okay, my world also, it kind of leaves room for everybody. That's definitely something I picked up as I went up, and that's smart. That it's a smart thing. And also it's, I still think it makes it that song that much deeper because now it touches more people than it's deep how you meant it, even with the Irish, because that's hard. If I was Irish and I heard that, I'd be like, that's hard. But if I wasn't Irish, I would still think it's cool, but I'd be like, all right, whatever. But now saying it the other way could be like, word, I feel that way too.
Yeah. You know what? The song is for the Irish, but it's for everybody.
Exactly.
Also for the Germans and the Argentinians and the Italians and the Americans. Yeah, but I got to tell you, Hoya, it was like a valuable lesson that night because the whole band was there. And I got to be honest, man, it was such a valuable lesson. And I really believe that the rest of the lyrical content on the record from that night forth and everything I've been that, I continuously, I love to write. I just love it. Right. But everything, I go back to that and everything that's been written since then that may not be heard for 3-4 years is nothing. And, it's kind of like Danny, like nothing. You don't release anything unless you feel it. It's real and people can touch people and identify them. And the message on this record is, I think, for people of like all ages, it's like a life lesson. It's about, it's a lot about like the current state of things that are going on right now in this world. Yeah. Nothing's written about COVID or there's not like, none of that bullshit. But like every word on the record has meaning. And that to me is like really valuable. And I'm proud of it.
Yeah,
I'm proud of
it. And that's good that because you could tell by again how you've been working the record, the whole band, by putting out material, You know,
Yeah.
I'm staying, you know, the whole social media should staying on point with that because
Yeah.
that's where you really, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm in the mix. I've been in
Yeah.
the mix for a
And
long
Hoya,
time.
like I got to be honest, dude. I have no idea what I'm doing on social media. Like
It's
I back in the 15 years ago when Instagram was like, or 10, I was getting like friend requests from people. I was like, deny. I don't know you. Deny.
Yeah.
How stupid.
Yeah,
You know how hard it is.
Listen,
like now to
it's
get
hard.
Instagram followers.
Of course, but you know what it is? The whole shit now in general is, you know what it is? It's the way things work now.
Yeah.
Either way, whatever speed you work at, as long as you acknowledge that that's part of what we do now.
Yeah.
That's things that I gave. I would, you know, again, guys like Danny, and I bring up Billy again too. Guys that came from an old style but knew you either adapt with this new shit or you die.
Yeah.
Because living with that, oh, we did this and we did that and we had this and we had that, that stays back there. That's all dope and cool stories.
That ain't gonna get people to show
but
up to your gig,
that
man.
stopped there, and now this is that.
Yeah.
You know, and we always lived in this moment. You know, unfortunately, we never had this or we never had that, but we always were in that zone where in the trenches. You know, we always were on that side of the trench.
Hey man, when you stop learning, stop living, dude.
Yeah.
Like if you're not willing to learn, you know, I coach football. I tell the guys that coach for me or with me, like if you're not willing to learn, you're not, you know, you shouldn't have the right to coach. If it's the same thing, if you love music, if this is something you want to do, you got to be willing to learn.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be willing, and you also have to be willing.
I'll tell you, because the one thing is that evolution is inevitable.
Yeah.
Whether or not you want to go along with it and evolve is up to you, but it's still going to happen. Evolution is inevitable.
Yep.
You know, and if you stay in the past, people know it becomes inauthentic. You got to represent what you are when you are it.
I agree. And I always say I'm an upright gorilla, but I say it for exactly what you mean. I got that old DNA, but I'm a today's gorilla. I never hated on the new kids. I never hated with technology because that's what makes the world go forward. Yeah. And I never wanted to be that dude. Of course, I'm not a kid like the fucking the 21, 22, 25-year-old kid. But I also don't hate because Madball was that band that the older dudes talk shit on when we were coming up. So I know what it is to be like, yo, what's up with this? What's up with that? Too much hip hop, too much graffiti, too much this, and people talking shit. And we were like, yo, we're being us. This is us. But all right, whatever. But we always did us. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you know, you can tell when people do shit authentically, which is good. You know, and it's good when thing about you guys got a whole band of seasoned players that already been through the ringer and know what they want in a band. And I think that's what makes a situation like where you guys, you're able to build easier, quicker, and cuts a lot of the bullshit that you would have to do with guys that.
Let's hope, man. Let's hope. Hope and pray. You know what I mean?
All right, let me ask you this. All right, you got these songs. What's the deal with the show? Is there ever a talk about a show? Are you guys getting offers? Are you going to play? Are you going to play in a bubble? Are you waiting for, you know, I don't want to get political, but Danny, am I going to need a hazmat suit for you? What's the deal?
We are playing 2 shows in November.
Danny goes, me? Yeah. Man, me and Danny were like fucking rubbing sweat a couple months ago. We were like bare chested, rubbing sweaty chests.
Rubbing feet together.
Yeah, our feet were all into line. No, but what's the deal with shows in the future? What's any plans? You thinking about it? Anything
You're
setting
going to tell us what dates in November, December, and January, and we're going to come open up.
Listen, all right. You know, Danny knows what Mad Boy it's always. That's a given.
Spot. You know, you still got to be a businessman.
Yeah, oh yeah. So what about those Yankees, Danny? You know that.
Listen, he's a guinea. He's got to put that pressure on you a little bit. Yeah. Like, hey, listen,
now let me ask you this. I like cannolis. I'm just saying.
I can get you cannolis, man. I can get them.
Cannolis go a long way in this band.
Yeah.
I
got a spot for that.
Listen, Madball, the same thing with us. We're trying to get in wherever we could play. We're playing, and obviously, you know what's up. Whenever you guys are ready and we can make it happen, we do it. But have you guys had any offers yet, or any ideas of what, or you have a plan like, oh, maybe we do it in a time frame, a record release, January, or
But as you know, things are weird right now.
that's what I mean. I know.
COVID.
Waiting that, yeah.
The way the business is evolving towards this vaccinated nonsense and the non-vaccinated, how we're going to approach shows.
Yeah.
It's crazy right now. And
I know it's
not
so
to disrespect anybody's opinion, whatever. Like
Yeah.
you said, don't want to get political. So we don't really know what to do.
So
But,
he's good. Yeah.
you know, we do have some shows coming up though. Like Danny was saying, November 6th and 7th, we got our first 2 shows coming up.
I seen that the Kingsland. No, was it?
No, in November 6th is Jersey, in Teaneck, New Jersey, Debonair Music Hall with Dog Eat Dog.
That's what it was.
And
I
then
saw
the
it.
second is in Bowery Electric with Dog Eat Dog on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, that's
It's gonna
good.
be awesome.
That's
And
a
that's
great, and that's a great like coming out party. You guys coming out of your closets.
Yeah.
It's a good, if any closet is gonna be a good time to come out. No, but that's a good one. Like those will be good, strong shows,
Yeah.
good days. Good to come out like that. Gangbuster style, and also it's a hype show. Like you know what I mean. Like it's part of a big thing because right now that's how you got to do
Playing
it.
with Dog Eat Dog too. It's like,
But I mean, that's a good little
they got their
nostalgia thing.
fans, and we can go in and kind of, hey, look, this is something different, but maybe you like it. I don't know.
Oh
Yeah.
no, for sure. That's like the perfect band to do that with.
Hoya, there's
to-
nothing like playing 2 shows in one night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I got to pull the double duty. I got to.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest. Like I love playing like that old Dog Eat Dog shit. Like anytime Dog Eat Dog plays in this, like in the States over the last 10 years, like I've played every US show. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I enjoy
Yeah.
it because I love I love those songs.
Yeah.
And usually when I play, we always play all the old shit. You know what I mean?
So
Because
you're
that's
playing.
what I know.
Wait. So you're gonna play that Doggy Dog set also?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know who was playing with them. Now, I didn't know they were doing
John,
some.
Dave, me, and Brandon's on the drums.
Okay.
So Debonair Music Hall is a place that
Oh,
we
so you
play
definitely double
every 3
duty.
or 4 years we've played there. And and we've always done great. Like, and it's like that's the Jersey show. That's Saturday night. And then the next day we're gonna play for Drew Stone at Bowery
I've seen
Electric. And that's a free show.
Yeah, that'll be dope.
And same
New York
bill.
City. Yeah.
That'll
Same
be
bill.
dope.
The city show, it's Dog Eat Dog, Kings Never Die, Crazy Eddie, and Dead Crew.
Yeah.
And
I
the
seen it.
Jersey show is Dog Eat Dog, Kings Never Die, and Zero Trust is Zach Thorne.
Yes.
That's his new band. And a local band, Rest Assured, is going to play. So they're both like great bills. And you want to know something? Like, we haven't played in 2 years, and I'm dying to play. And like, we're probably going to come out and play like all new shit.
Yeah.
Like maybe we'll play a song or two. We only released 7 songs
Yeah.
ever over the last 2-3 years. You know what I mean? So it's not like there's this catalog. Like this is the beginnings of everything. So if we play a song or two that we released before, great. But really it's about now and like just playing this music that we just created. And that's all that really matters right now.
Is this gonna be both you guys' first show playing again?
Yeah.
Since
Yeah.
whenever the last?
I haven't played a show in years. I think last
shit,
show I played was me on stage, was like with Rest
Yeah.
in Pieces at the Black.
Oh, that was the last time. Oh shit, I didn't even think about that. Well, I was
haven't been
there.
on stage in 3 or 4 years. So for me, I'm like,
Charge.
dying to get
What
up.
about you? And then
I think
what
the
about?
last show I played was in Kings Never Die. We played in Milwaukee or something. I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had some shows with you too. We played in
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
we played up with
Yeah.
Mike Valente up there.
Yeah. And
Those
we
were like the last shows we
Okay,
ever
yeah, those were the
played,
last.
You know? We were
Those were the-
supposed to open up for Propane in Albany right as COVID hit, and that kind of shut. That was like, but we actually had like 15 shows booked, and they all got canceled. And that's when it was like, hey, you know what? We got these songs that we recorded. We recorded 2 songs with Jerry Farley, one for the A7 comp. We have a song called Stand for It All on that A7 comp. And It was like, you know what? If the world shut down, we're not going to shut down. Let's get to work. And that was like the time, you know, I got to be honest, like the timing was kind of like beautiful for a, I mean, look, you know what? I do want to say one thing. Today is the anniversary. My dad died 1 year ago today.
Rest in peace.
From
COVID. That was close.
Yeah, he
close
died
to my mom's too. My mom's was about a year plus too. Yeah, it's like been a fucking real rough world out there.
And my condolences, Hoya.
Same to you, man.
So sorry, man.
I mean, it's like
you know how it is.
Mom, your brother, I can't even imagine, bro.
It's fucking it's a crazy world, dude. You know, it's one of those things that I'm so glad, and we all know. I could say I know you guys know it, but I'm so glad I have children now more than ever, because without them, it would have probably been a different version of me, you know. And I don't know how it would have been. It would have been ugly, because with them, I changed my whole shit around for my sons. Let alone me do anything that would leave them without a father. It's not happening. You know, when God takes me, he takes me, but I'm not giving nobody a head start. That's why I fucking do push-ups every day, which I hate. And that's why I do all that shit I do. I will not, when I die, it's going to be because the man upstairs called me, or the man, or whatever you want to call it, you PC motherfuckers out there. But when God calls me, that's when no head starts on my part. You know, I did all my, I used all my party cards already, you know, like my chances to wild out, to do this. We did it. You know, we all partied for a couple of lifetimes. Now, if I would do that, I deserve to suffer if I folded now and not take care of what I have to take care of, because I've been lucky in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Yeah. My children are fucking healthy, and my son wakes up smiling. During this whole crazy shit, if my sons could wake up and they could smile and they're joking, I'm good.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm
like,
that's, you know, and you know, Danny, you got 500 kids, Danny, so you got to see 500 pairs of teeth smiling. I always look at Danny and go, damn, he got an army.
Yeah.
Like, that guy got.
It's, you know, we change our lives for our kids.
Yeah.
You know, and our kids keep us grounded.
Yeah.
And they're a constant reminder of how we need to behave, how we need to act.
Yep.
And the things we need to do to take care of business, you know? And I mean, I still have fun. I still do a lot of things, and I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
But, you know, our kids, it all turns serious right there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It's
you know, some of us grew up without a dad. Some of us grew up with broken up families. And, you know, I made that decision a long time ago that I was never going to abandon my kids.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll never happen.
Me too.
Yeah,
I was like,
I'm with you on that. Brother.
Yeah. You know, and I think, and that's why I could still say that I'm blessed, and because as crazy as shit is, I got 2 healthy, happy kids, and I changed my life around because of them, and for my mother who passed away, because she was like, "Yo, time to man up. You got to step up." And I always say this. I never had to do it to get girls. I never did it because I was into clothes, or I had a, you know me, Dad, I'm not that type of dude. But the minute it was like, what, leave my son fucking fatherless? Not while I'm a fucking live. That shit is just not happening.
Not happening.
Ain't you.
Not in this world, not in the next world, not in the world after that.
Yeah.
Fuck that. So, you know, I'm glad. And again, and I know you guys know that same feeling, as mad as they get us sometimes, you know, ain't nothing going to make us feel better than, you know, knowing that they're good. If they're good, we good. It's just what it is.
They're the ultimate motivation, man.
And what we do is you know, one way or another leads into how we have them. If it was meeting their mothers that way, or they liked what we do, even if they weren't into it, or, wow, he got tattoos, he got a look. whatever, our music had something to do with our families and
100%
what we built. So
listen, Evan Seinfeld introduced me to my wife on the steps of L'Amour's.
And there you go. And there you go.
My whole life encapsulated.
Exactly right there. And tassels were right up front.
I met my wife.
Exactly.
I met my wife in 1990 at the China Club at a show.
There you go. Same thing with me.
At a
my
Monkey
wife,
Puff show, you know
my
what I mean?
wife, rest in peace, coming to shows. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just, our whole lives, everything. I say it to Freddie sometimes. I go, and to a lot of people, I go, you don't understand. I go, not till you sit down and think about it. Every single thing in our life will lead back to music at one point or another. If it's somebody we talk to, look, you could do whatever you did for your job all day, Danny, but then you're like, oh, I got to do this podcast. Why? Because the band, this, that. Okay, what I got to do? You do whatever, your boy calls you, yo, you want to come to the show? Okay, the band or whatever. Oh, you get a package in the mail. Oh, this guy sent me some shirt. Oh, he's my guy from this guy. You go to the store, you go to buy a car. The guy goes, oh, I seen you play. I don't care where. It's going to interact.
It's funny that you say that, because I just talked about that on Drew Stone's podcast. I was on with Billy and Bobby. We were talking about the Urban Discipline record. And, recently I reconnected with Evan. We started talking again. It's been, it's good to talk.
Did. I didn't know that. And I talked to him recently too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But we talked, and, it's all good, man. And
good. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But recently, like, I just been having this thought, like, so much in my life comes back to the band. And it's like, I became so much of what I am in my life because of the band, good and bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, all the friends that I have and the social circles that I go in, everybody's in a band. All we do is we go to shows, me and my friends. Like, what are we doing this weekend? Madball's playing at Urban.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I just go. We just go. And now my sons, all they want to do is go to shows.
I know.
And they go and they look at YouTube and they go, Dad, you played this show with 100,000 people?
Yeah.
Because I don't really talk about it too much.
Yeah.
In the house. But it's so true. Everything revolves back
one way or another
with music. And it just doesn't ever leave you alone. Like Biohazard to this day.
Of course.
I get emails and phone calls. People see me and they ask me about the band constantly.
Of course.
And it's never a problem for me to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure. Everything we do it one way or another. It's so weird how this thing engulfs your life when,
music, 100%.
Yeah.
I've been playing music since, all my life, and professionally since I'm 19 and I'm 52 years old. People still talk to me about the first Biohazard album.
Listen, nine out of 10 people I know are dudes that I went to shows with. That's how I know. Oh, because we went to shows. And anybody before that, I was like, before I knew what a show was. Yeah. So my whole existence, you know what I mean? Otherwise, I was like, yo, I know these motherfuckers. Everything happened going to the show with the girl you met at the show. You got in a fight at the show. You took the ride to the show. This happened because I couldn't go to the show. It was always something with the fucking show.
Every landmark in life happened around whatever show was going on.
You were in a video? Yeah, we did a video. All right, the Biohazard video or whatever. All right, it was a show. It was something to do. The first, guys on TV. Oh shit, how we get on TV? Oh, why? It was guys getting interviewed. Okay, the band. Why are they interviewing the band? Oh, because of music. Oh, why? Because they're the new band. Okay, it was always that. Why we're gonna go to the Roadrunner and I would have the Christmas parties. Remember those?
Oh my God, man.
The best parties in the world. But everything revolved. I would be at the craziest shows, the craziest events, but it all had to do with music, record business. I know this guy, that guy. You know how it used to be back then, even in New York.
Yeah.
Go to the building, free passes to go see Godflesh and blah, blah, blah. Go to here to see whatever. We would go all over the place. Just music, and
music did it all for us.
Yeah, and it definitely ruined us. It
ruined us.
You know
what? It's just a testament to how much it means and how important it is to work hard on it. And when you make that music to mean every word you say, and make sure that everything means something. I mean, not to get too deep on it, but it's important work. Because it is art, but we're representing our feelings, the way we feel, real emotion. And when you're connecting with people, it's important to do that. That's what keeps people together.
Yeah.
And that's what kept all of us together all these years.
Yeah, for sure. And I learned when, as kids, we do music, oh, wow, we got music on wax. It's saved on wax. But no matter what band it is, from the smallest to the biggest, every time you record something, that's a piece of history at a moment of time for somebody, and it's recorded. Meaning, if on tape, on paper, or whatever, it's recorded. Somebody made a marking of that time of what happened at that moment. I go, you don't, we get that later on when you start realizing again, hey, maybe we should watch how we're saying things, like we're talking about how we say things. Wow, this lasts longer. Wow, even if you meant it or not, you're like, wow, I was thinking that then. Wow, that's crazy. I felt like that. And wow, it's like the same paper your doctor has. Wow, you felt like this back. Wow, I was that sick. I was that this. It's kind of like that. It's pretty crazy, but you don't realize it till later when you get old enough. You're like, wow, I was angry. Well, I was this and I was that. And then for some people, maybe it has stuff that you think about, like, wow, maybe I gotta watch how I do this. Maybe how I go about this. Like you start.
You get a little more careful.
Yeah, finesse.
You can't. Yeah. Finesse.
Your life, we all very rigid in life, and then the finesse comes when you're the old dude with the slick back hair. He's all nice, but he's cool, but he's the older guy, and that's what it is. They finesse style. They and I think we learned that the older we get. I paid attention to it more.
For sure. Same here. I mean I think that's a part of being old, getting older, but being smart and staying up on things.
Yeah, no.
That's evolution, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'm glad I got you guys on. I'm glad I got, first of all, Dan. We were talking about doing this, and I'm glad you were talking about this. Is again why I say you got a good work ethic. He was like, yo, we got songs with this and that. I'm gonna get at you after. We're gonna put it out, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, good. And I've been watching you, how you've been doing your thing. That's how you got to do it. And I like it seeing it from a vet, because there's a lot of vets that they don't work. They think they don't have to work. That just what they did 100 years ago is going to carry their asses.
Yeah.
I
say all the time,
that shit don't work that way.
You know what, man? Nobody gives a shit about what you did 10 years ago.
Exactly.
10 years ago or 20 years ago. And the biggest thing is this: do you love what you're doing right now? Yeah. And me and Danny have talked about this. Like, honestly, that's all that really matters. Like, of course, like I want the record to be accessible everywhere. We want people to hear it. We want people to to connect. We want to play, who doesn't want to like do successful things? That's all great. But if it's not real and it's not what is in your heart, like, look, man, I'm too old to be like wasting time. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, so what we created together, all of us, to me is already like success. But now it's like time to give people an outlet to hear it. Hopefully we can find the right people, partners that would like to be a part of it and be a part of releasing it and marketing it and touring for it. And of course, like you always hope those things, but ultimately those things will happen if what you did is real.
Yeah, and if you're active like you've been, and if you work it like you've been, and that's a good thing how you've been doing. And the same thing. And with Danny, I'm glad I got you, because I waited a while, because they ran you through the mill already, the podcast mill. You know what I mean? And I try to let guys marinate. We all have our circuits of guys.
When someone they're running short on guests, that's when I get the call.
So no, but
all right.
A lot of. No,
I'm a drummer. It's okay.
No, I would have got you a long time, but they hogged you up a long time ago. No, but what it is, it's our circuit, us, Richie, Drew. So when one comes, I try to wait. And then there was some, you came out, and then Richie grabbed it. I was like, all right, I'm gonna let Danny. And then when he told me about this, and then I go, let's do the podcast. And he gave me your email also. I said, oh shit. So Danny's playing with him. He's going to be playing with him, because I wasn't sure. Also, and I was glad that I could get you on this, because I didn't want it to be just a biohazard thing, because it's not a biohazard thing. You know what I mean? Like, and I was glad, because I wanted to talk shit with you and not about, I already know you're from Brooklyn. I know you're from the wrong side of the tracks. I know these things already. I don't need to know these things no more. All right. So I was like, but I'm glad that also you're back playing, because like I said, you were a waste of a drummer when you weren't playing. I was like, that fucking guy get me so angry. I was like, this guy got to fucking play with you and Maddie Henderson with two people. I'm like, when you're not playing with nobody, I'm like, I cursed you out a little bit, like, fuck, waste. But I'm glad you're playing. I'm glad you're loving what you guys are doing more than anything. I'm glad to see you, both you guys, especially the toe. I haven't seen you in a minute. But no, I'm glad you guys are doing music. I'm glad you're doing the music that you're doing. I really mean that by being refreshing and fucking, it's something good for the overall scene. And I think it's the right time now. Again, you know, like something like that. And it's still got the roots, but it's it ain't just a fucking, it ain't meathead. You know, it ain't just meathead. It's a little bit more sophisticated. It's more beer bottle over the head meathead than a gorilla throwing the tire. You know what I mean? So it's like a different, like but thank you guys for jumping on. I'm glad. Everybody make sure tune in again. What do you guys does you have do you have an Instagram for the band?
Yes.
Yeah, you do that. That's why I talked to you on the Kings Never Die on the Instagram, right?
The Instagram is at Kings Never Die Official. That is Instagram. And then Facebook is Kings Never Die Band, which sucks, but whatever. That's all.
No, well, you got it. Listen, you got it. That's what you need. Don't be one of these dudes. I don't need Facebook. I don't need it. We all need all that shit. That's how we talk to the people. Yeah. That's how you got. That's our phone to our people.
Yep. The website is the same as well. It's www.kingsneverdieofficial.com. But the website is like literally, we basically blanked a lot of it out. But like, if anybody wants to hear like old music, like everything is there. It's set up.
Good.
Waiting to be refreshed with everything new.
No, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
So just go there and look out for the updates.
Yeah, you could, anything that we had done is up on the website, but it's in the midst of like, it's going to have a refresh. But Instagram really is the place where you can catch up, and that's the spot where like we'll obviously be using that more with shows coming up, right? Good. So November 6th and 7th.
Yep.
Those are the first two
This
shows.
comes out next week, so it's good that you announced that. So November 6th and 7th. Where at again? Say it one more time. Which places?
Debonair Music Hall, Teaneck, New Jersey, November 6th. That's a Saturday. The ticket link and info for that. That's definitely a show that people are going to have to buy tickets for.
Yeah.
We've played there, I think 2 times. It's been sold out both times. So, God willing, that would be, a great show. And then the next day, Sunday, is at Bowery Electric.
Fun one.
That's a good one. Yeah, free show, but obviously Bowery only holds like maybe 150 people. So
that's gonna be a hangout.
Yeah.
You
know what I mean? And by then everybody knows, like Jersey, but like in the city, you're gonna have to like show some sort of a Vax card. Yeah. You don't have to, just a card or whatever.
Everybody just call wherever they're playing. You call up, do whatever you got to do, but make sure you go see them. Danny, what's the deal? I mean, I know you got you're on Instagram. That's why I talked to you on Instagram or Facebook. I forget which one.
I'm on both. Danny Bio has it on Instagram. Yeah. Danny Schuler on Facebook.
And real quick, any quick biohazard news? Real quick. A little quick something. A little quick. Give the Smokin Word podcast a little something.
Well, there's not a whole lot to get. I mean, like I said,
make it up so I get some extra hits. Give me some gas, motherfucker.
With Billy and Bobby, we just talked recently, and we're gonna do something soon. I don't know who it's gonna involve or how it's gonna happen just yet, but we all want to do something soon with Biohazard. People keep asking, and it's amazing that they do, and we're gonna do something soon.
Yeah, some good shit.
How we're gonna do it yet, but we're gonna do something soon.
But good shit. A lot of music.
30th anniversary of Urban Discipline.
Whoa, 30.
Coming out. 30 years since the second record, Urban Discipline.
Wow.
That's 1992. So that reissue is coming out soon. Also, it's got some cool like extra stuff on it, and little remaster and everything. So
dope.
Yeah,
hey,
that's the latest of Biohazard.
Good. So look out for Biohazard with original lineup. You heard it here first. Ice-T on vocals, and Evan is coming on, and I'm gonna jump on as third backup, and we're gonna have who else? I gassed this shit up.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm glad, I'm psyched for you guys, and we're definitely gonna hook up some shows the minute somebody will let us play somewhere.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The minute we could do it. But mad love to both you guys. This will come out next week. I'll let you know what's up when it comes out. But again,
Sure.
one love, Kings Never Die. Make sure everybody go get that. Follow Danny, follow Dan. Go fucking download their music. Go buy their fucking t-shirts. Go to Casa de Rock and buy my shit too while you at it. But
Absolutely.
definitely, yo, one love, guys. I love you. You know what's up, Danny.
bro.
Mad love to all your family. We'll talk, guys.
You, bro.
And we out. All right.
Hoya, thank
One
you,
love.
bud.
Love
One
you,
love. We
man.
talk.
Bro.
Love you, Nick.
Be
Peace.
safe.
Word, word.